Hi everybody, Dr. Arculeo here. I hope this video is getting to you before we do the webinar on advanced strategies on how to make your body into a fat-burning machine. Thank you again for registering for it. You're going to get a lot out of it. You're really going to love this webinar. Ever since everyone's been registering for this, I've gotten a lot of nice emails telling me how they thought the results that we spoke of were amazing, but it sparked a flurry of questions and concerns. There was a lot of questions on how we get these dramatic results, and don't worry, we'll definitely be covering all that in detail on the webinar. But we also got some feedback of some serious concerns. The concern was their doubt that they couldn't do it themselves and couldn't get these wonderful results for themselves. There's a belief that losing weight is very hard or even impossible for some. Some think they can't do it. They can't give up their favorite food, or it'd be too hard, or they'd have to starve themselves or exercise like a marathon runner, and that's just not for them. So out of surveying literally hundreds, if not thousands of patients on the topic, do you know what the number one skepticism people have about doing a new weight loss program? Guess. Guess what they're most skeptical of. Do you think they're skeptical of that it would be too extreme, that it's scientific or proven, or their doctor would approve of it, that they'll be missing a certain food? No, those are the things I kind of thought. But no, the number one skepticism I've found with hundreds of my patients is that there's self-doubt that it won't work for them, and there's self-doubt that they just can't do it. This is big, guys. It's not the doubt of the science, of the program, the research behind it, the case studies. They don't think that doesn't work. They see the results. It makes sense to them, but they don't believe they could do it or it'd work for them. They think they're different, or it won't work for them because they've failed with many diets before and it just won't work. So on this video, I'm going to share with you some very powerful secrets that could very well be the key to determine if you're successful or not successful in achieving your goals. This is critical material. We really need to go over this now. So when we meet on the webinar, we'll be able to hit the ground running. You're going to love this. This is going to be a powerful couple minutes here. So if you're a really busy person, a busy mom or executive, you're on the go, you're gaining more weight each year and you can't seem to get it off, and you think weight loss programs just don't work for you, you've tried them, or you can't do them, you're not alone. And if you hardly have any time for yourself and you feel that you'll never be able to lose that stubborn weight and get back into shape, I know how you feel. I've had hundreds of patients who totally feel the same way. The fact is, it's pretty normal to have problems losing weight, especially if you're over 25 years old and caught up in the hustle and bustle of a modern lifestyle. So if you've tried diets or exercise and they don't work, or they just don't work anymore for you, and the weight just came back, you're not alone. I totally understand, and here's how you can turn that all around. That is what it's all about. This is really the bottom line. It's easier than you think. The program we have, the new technology we utilize, the DNA designed diet is easy, effective, but we can't really talk about this and our program if this is on your mind. If you have any self-doubt that you can't do it or it won't work for you personally with your unique situation, we have to take this up now. I have to share these secrets that I've learned from my patients. It's so critical for you to know this now. I kind of learned all this through a bizarre turn of events and a series of mistakes that I've made. So this is super important that I share with you now and save you the trouble so you don't have to go through this pain of failure and so on. I want to share with you now the secrets on this topic of self-doubt so it doesn't get in the way of your weight loss goals. I really, really want you to achieve your goals. And I know this will get in the way if we don't talk about it now. Now, I'm in a very unique situation, a very interesting position. I see hundreds of patients each month. And by paying attention to what works and what doesn't, I've learned some very interesting things. And it's not what you may think. It's not what I certainly have thought originally, what would make the difference between people that are meeting their goals and not. So with hundreds of patients who have lost weight and hundreds of patients that have failed at losing weight, I surveyed them. Let me tell you what I mean by that. The patients that lost weight, I simply asked them, how'd you do it? What motivated you to stick to it? Whether I saw them in the office or I saw them outside the office and I noticed some weight change, I talked to them about. And with the patients that failed these diets that they went on, I surveyed them too. Now I found something very revealing, very revealing. What was revealed was the difference between the two. The difference was their mindset. It was their mindset and the little habits that made the difference. It was simpler than I thought too. It boiled down to just 3 things that I saw in common with all the successful patients. They had these 3 things, and these 3 things were missing from all the patients that failed. Do you want to know what these 3 secrets are? I bet you do. I'm going to go over it. That's what this video is about. This is where we get into the really juicy part here. So these are the 3 secrets of hundreds, literally hundreds of successful patients who lost weight. These are the critical ingredients. Having clear, concise goals. The right definitive number, too. A definitive commitment, a definite commitment, and preparation. Now, I know what you might be saying. You might be saying, oh yeah, of course, this is nothing special. But it really is. It really is that simple, and it really is that important. The thing that separates the success from failure. So it's important enough for us to take a little closer look at these 3 different words here, of course. So let's look at this. I don't know if you've heard this story before. I've heard it before, and I thought I'd reference it for you here. These kids are at Harvard. They just graduated. Okay? There was a famous MBA business school study at Harvard. They went 10 years. 10 years after graduation, they've asked them this simple question. Have you set goals and plans to accomplish them? They asked them, so in other words, they graduated, the alumni came back, 10 years later, they asked them this question. They were part of the study, of course. And this is what they found. Check this out. The 13% that actually made goals upon graduation, 10 years later, they were earning twice as much as the 84% that did not have any goals. So they're making twice as much just for the fact they made goals. Now, if that didn't impress you, look at this. Now, the 3% that had not only written goals, but had a plan, a specific plan on how to get there, were making 10 times as much as the rest of them put together. So on average, this 3% that had written goals with a plan were 10 times more successful than the ones that had goals, that without plans or didn't have any goals at all. Are you getting this? Are you seeing how critical goals are as far as that goes? That's really impressive. So what on earth does this have to do with you and your weight loss? These Harvard kids running around, right? Well, setting weight loss goals is important. Well, first of all, you have to have a goal. You have to set one. And the number one question I get is, what should the number be? Should it be the national norm for my height or my age? Should it be my high school weight? Should that be my goal? Well, here's the trick that I've seen worked hundreds of times work well, is it's low enough to say, I could do that. So it's got to be reasonable enough to say for you to say, I could do that. But you can't stop there. It can't be too low because it won't work if you're not excited. It must be high enough to get you excited. So if you weigh 160 pounds and you go, I'll make 150. So you're only going to lose 10 pounds in 3 months. That may not get you very excited. But if you say, I'm going to be 112 when I was in high school and you're weighing 160, that just may not be realistic. So you got to find that happy number, something that you say, I could do that. And it really gets you excited thinking about what it's going to be like being that weight. So the next trait is commitment. And check out this quote from Abraham Lincoln. I hope you realize that's who it was. Anyhow, Commitment is what transforms a promise into reality. So it's a promise to yourself, of course, and that promise is turned into reality. It actually happens with this magic ingredient of commitment. So, how does this apply to you? This is how it applies to you. Commitment and weight loss. You've got to commit with one decision and surrender to it. This is a big one. This is what separates the wheat from the chaff. I'm telling you on this one. I see this over and over with the people that fail. Let me start with them first. They make this thought, they have this strategy, I'll decide as I go along. I'll decide how I feel. I'll figure it out as I go along, and it will just work out. So what it turns out to is that they make many decisions every day. And over every day to day, and even hour to hour, their mood and motivation goes up and down, and that will affect their daily decisions or their hourly decisions. They have an argument with their boyfriend. They get a raise. They have all these reasons to blow off their diet and commitment, and that just never works, and they'll just go off the rails. So what you need to do is make a commitment, pick a number, get a graph that you're going to monitor your results, and surrender. You've made the decision. You're not surrendering some blind faith here. You're in control. You made the decision. And it's just boom. You don't make a decision every time you open a menu at a restaurant or walk into the kitchen. If you were going to make a decision every time like that, guaranteed failure. Okay, so that's huge, commitment. The next one is preparation. Here's a nice quote. Without a goal, a plan is just a wish. That's really true, because you could wish all you want, but without a goal and a plan, it's just not going to manifest. So you need the commitment behind it, but you need to prepare. You need to have a detailed plan to make it happen. We're really heavy on that with the programs we do on our patients. But let me give you some things you could do right away. So what does that mean to you? You got to be prepared. It's not just for Boy Scouts. It's just anybody that's successful. I see this over and over again. If I want patients to take their herbs, their nutrients every day or twice a day or 3 times a day with meals, if they have to open it up out of the bottles, it won't happen. It will just never happen. If I have them put in plastic bags and prep it once a week, so they got 21 bags to take with one meal, 3 meals a day, it happens. Anytime anybody's not taking their herbs, the first question I ask is, this is just an example. I'm not saying you got to take a lot of herbs, but I ask them, did you put them in bags? And they all pause, and I say, okay, you didn't put them in bags. How about going out and do I need to buy you the bags? So anyhow, huge preparation. So also meal planning 3 days out. You shouldn't keep food in the house that's longer than 3 days old as far as perishables. So you plan 3 days at a time. You organize a shopping list before you go to the store. You don't go to the store and wing it either. You have a shopping list. You plan 3 days out, meal plan. We do that hand in hand when we put people on programs. We actually meal plan for them. Tupperware. Some of you guys say, yeah, there's nothing to eat at work. Well, bring it with you. It's like pack a bag. It's really simple. Ziploc bags for nutrients. I already went over that. And you really need to have scheduled meal times, especially evenings. If you just say, I'll eat whenever I get hungry or when I'm, you got to have regimented meal times. That really throws off your digestion. That's huge. And also restaurants. I have a patient that killed it. She lost 32 pounds, lowered her blood pressure, went from super high risk of diabetes and heart disease to normal in 3 months. And you know how she did it? She was prepared. And she says, I'm going out with my girlfriends this Friday, and I checked the menu, and this is what I'm going to eat. How does that sound? And I said, that's awesome. You went online, you looked at the menu, you figured it out, and you're in control. So I'm just telling you, that is huge. The preparation as far as that goes. So anyhow, I really look forward to going through how patients get results in details and how it all works and all the details of the science behind it. I can't go bog you down with that right now. And when I'm done with that, you're going to be completely confident that you could finally break through and finally get the results what you want. So I'll be able to show you on the webinar, but before we did the webinar, I kind of wanted to diagram out this self-doubt factor for you and give you some grounding material and how you could easily overcome any self-doubt that might be in your way. I know it sounds simple, but it works. So if you really want to be better prepared, take advantage of the information I'm sharing with you here. So that's it for today. I wanted to walk you through this, help you a bit and clarify a few things and lubricate the mind a bit. So when we're on the webinar, you'll get more out of it. So if you really want to be successful with losing weight once and for all, use these 3 secrets. I know they're simple, but they're little habits that win. They separate the successful from the failures in weight loss over hundreds of cases that I've seen. So let me ask you this. The mindset is really key, and we went over it. I gave you some simple examples. Can you see yourself being more successful achieving your weight loss goals once and for all? And feeling younger and fitting into some clothes better that you have in the back of your closet just waiting for this special day? You're really going to enjoy the webinar, because if you want to lose weight without a huge effort of starving yourself and exercising like crazy, we're going to get you all organized on that. And now remember, the webinar is coming up. So I've gone ahead and put the time and date below this video, and I've put it in some emails I'm sending to you. And of course, I'll remind you beforehand. But while it's fresh in your mind, why don't you put it in your calendar if you haven't already? Do it now and make time for it, because this could be literally life-changing. I'm not being dramatic here. I've seen it time and time. Okay, I'll look forward to seeing you on the webinar. Have a great time, and we'll talk then.